talked about the fact that your office visits and everything are after the $3,500 deductible, so there's no co-pays on that, correct?
On that particular plan design.
Okay, so what does that mean about drugs? Like, for instance, if I take Epiam, which is $300 retail, will I be paying $300 retail, or is there an actual insurance benefit that's going to reduce that actually gets paid, goes towards my deductible, or am I going to have to pay that $300?
You should enjoy the discounting purchasing power that your health insurance carrier will have. So yes, you will be paying wholesale rather than retail for that, but it will be an out-of-pocket office visits and essentially all health care under that particular plan design, other than the preventive care, is going to be an out-of-pocket expense for you until you hit that $3,500 deductible. And if you've stayed within network, then you're done, and everything else would be covered 100% for the remainder of the contract year.
Okay, now.
Or calendar, actually the calendar year, because eventually everybody will be on a January 1st renewal cycle.
Is there anything in place that is going to allow us not to pay the $125 for an office visit? I mean, is that going to be scaled back for the doctors? Because you usually go to a copay so that you're only paying $40 for a visit. When you get your insurance and it says, hey, we charged you $220 for this visit, but your copay was this, so you only owe your copay. Is there anything that's going to help the cost of the actual office visits go down, or are they still free to charge whatever they want to do?
Well, now doctors today aren't, well, I mean, they're, to a certain extent, they're free to charge whatever they want to. But in practical, real-world terms, they're contracted with Blue Cross, Humana, United Healthcare, whoever various carriers are, and they have what we call a maximum allowable fee kind of schedule that they know that's the most they're going to get reimbursed for that particular office visit. And the contracts that PPO providers enter into with health insurance carriers generally prohibit them from balanced billing members other than the copay and the negotiated fee. So if you went out of network, then the doctor could charge you whatever he or she saw fit. But staying in network, then you're dealing with providers working under contractual terms. So once again, you'll be getting the discount that wholesale versus retail. So you might be paying $80 instead of $140 for that visit or something like that. But yes, like I said, the bronze plans, that's the low end of the food chain. But that's probably where an awful lot of people are going to end up, because they'll go cheapest premium, go there. And then of course it'll be the people that have a chronic condition, or type 2 diabetic, or dealing with issues like that will see the value of going to other plans. And of course one of our greatest concerns is that people like Claire, some of these tech people here that hardly ever get sick or go to the doctor, we'll look at what it'll cost them and look at maybe a $95 reduction in their tax refund if they get one. And they may just decide to keep on living dangerously without insurance like us and just leave us old sick people in the pool. And that's called adverse selection, and that is what could bring this whole house of cards tumbling down.
Okay, as the mom, one of the moms here, there's several moms. Well, maybe a couple moms here.
We can all raise our hands, we all have children.
So, something you just said kind of sparked a question for me is right now, we're getting our insurance through my husband's work. And the boys are currently at 23 and 21 on our health insurance plans through them. So how is that going to affect that age group when they're on mom and dad's plan? Is that going to affect them at all? Or are they going to end up being kicked off of it? How is that going to work?
Well, they can be, under the law, you can carry your dependent child up to age 26.
26.
So that can continue. Now, as depending on the situation where your husband works and what kind of arrangement his employer has, and I have no insight into those issues.
Right, I understand.
Once they get to the point where they have to roll over to this community rating model that I was describing, then the rate impact will be felt as rates for
So you're
young
saying that-
dependents.
yeah,
So
so
your share of the cost for dependent coverage, you'll probably see that
Go way up.
escalate.
So that might be where we have to make the decision whether, they gotta take care of themselves, or we gotta take care of them.
Perhaps so.
Yeah. So, okay.
Do you see, there are a lot of entrepreneurs, people who are on their own. For me, I'm retired from the city of Memphis, so I have health insurance through that plan of retirement. But many people doing things like that I'm doing, network marketing, just creating their own job, so to speak, based on their skills. Do you see them coming together in a group like a Business Over Coffee or some associations to be able to or do something collectively
Well,
together for a policy?
Yes and no. Technically speaking, just aggregating a bunch of random individuals together for greater purchasing power in the past and right now as the law is structured going forward, really wouldn't be a bargaining entity like an employer or the Tennessee Bar Association or something like that. So really it'll be more like my private health insurance marketplace that
You would be able to
that-
come in and
that an
individually help.
association or an organization like this may make available really is just a convenience and a value-added benefit for their.
A trusted benefit, so that people could realize that somebody like you is already helping a dozen people that are involved here. So if I came new, I wouldn't be going like, I don't have that confidence.
Well, and the move is going to be, trying to get more and more of this stuff done on the web. I still, after 30 years of doing this, think that there's going to be an awful lot of need for hand-holding.
Yeah.
And the thought, and this is where the great disconnect between our representatives in Washington and us people that fly over the country really comes. Of course, they spend every day with their smartphone, their tablet, they're on a computer. When they do their enrollment as a federal employee, they're doing it on a computer. And so it's easy to think that everybody across the country can do that. I was visiting a group up outside of Paris, Tennessee here earlier this summer, where I was literally having to sit down with 30, 40, 50-year-old men and help them fill out the applications by hand, because a lot of them were functionally illiterate. So we got an issue with just the ability of expecting a mass of the American people is going to be enrolled online.
Okay,
That's gonna be an
guys,
issue.
we're just got a few more minutes. We'll probably take one more question, if someone has one more question.
Oh, latest shocking revelation. Actually, this was slipped into the federal regs about February, bubbled up here earlier this week. I was talking about those out-of-pocket maximums on those plan designs. Some of you may have heard this on the news, but for 2015, because of systems issues that they've uncovered, actually you could have two separate out-of-pocket maximums. One for your major medical and one for your prescription drugs. They hope that by 2015 they will have gotten the system issue resolved. So, one of the promises of the healthcare reform law was that it was going to cap the maximum financial exposure that people have at no more than what is allowed under federal law for a health savings account-based high deductible plan, which this coming year is $6,350. No surprise, that potential is now possibly doubled in some of these plans.
Okay, well, everybody, thank you.
Hello,